Welcome, everyone, to the Talking Kentucky postgame show. My name is Coleman Scott. His name is Brad Harvey, and the Cats get a huge win over the Mississippi State Bulldogs, winning in Starkville for the first time since 2008 and becoming bowl eligible for the 8th straight year, and that is a school record. So it's a big night. It's a big turnaround for the Kentucky Wildcats, and this was a much-needed win. And Kentucky went in and kind of dominated the entire game, holding Mississippi State without a touchdown tonight, holding them to only 200-something yards of offense. And it was sort of the feel-good win that we needed. And was it all pretty? No. But a win's a win, and we needed a win tonight. And, Brad, I'm excited. And I think Brad just went dark there for a second. So I don't know if he can hear me right now. But he will jump back on when he can. I was about to go. I had this great opening monologue, and then I was about to go to Brad, and then he was going to make an opening statement, and then it was going to be perfect. And then as soon as I was going to go to Brad, he disappears off the screen. So I might just go solo here for a second. But if you lost this game, it was not going to be good. Right? If you lose this game, and there's Brad, he's back. Brad, I was going to go to you. I had this great opening setup. I was going to say, what do you think, Brad? And then you disappeared, but you're back, and what a win, Brad. So I'll let you give your 2 cents now. And you're frozen again. Well, we played well. But since Kentucky football played well, that means we're going to have technical difficulty in the Kentucky show. I'll go saying, like this, if you lost this game tonight, it would have been 4 losses in a row, and you would have been coming back home playing Alabama, and that wouldn't have been good. You don't want to be playing Alabama coming off 4 losses. And then you would have had to go on the road to South Carolina and to Louisville. And you would probably question, now that Brad's back again, you would probably question if you lose tonight, if you're going to win another game and if you're even going to be bowl eligible at all. So I think this was a huge swing game for the Cats. And now an 8-4 sort of season, which is what a lot of people were predicting, before this season started, is now back on the table, and you're feeling good again, Brad. You got me over there? Can you hear me all right? I don't know if I do. I don't know if Brad can hear me right now. This is I'm going to see. This is entertaining. This is late night sort of Talking Kentucky post game show here, and I'm going to text Brad and see if he can even hear me right now. So maybe we'll just let Clyde or something call in, and he can co-host with me. Here, I'm texting Brad. Can you hear me on the show right now? So we might. Josh says he's moving around. At least that's a good sign. Yeah, I feel like Brad can, like, he's on the show, but I don't know if he can hear me. He just texted me back and he said no, he can't hear me. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But in any case, it's a huge win for the Cats, and maybe we can just take a couple calls here first to open up the show. We can just open up the Talking Kentucky phone line right off the bat here, and I think it's gonna work great. So 502-234-1504. Give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you. We'll just go ahead and take a couple calls while we're waiting for Brad to get back on here. I think he said as soon as we came on, my computer timed out and shut off. So I think Brad's going to try to get back on here. But in the meantime, again, let's try to take a couple calls on the Talk Kentucky phone line, 502-234-1504. We'd love to hear from you. And hopefully at least our phone lines work tonight. Hopefully that gets going here. I'm going to test it out. See, what I usually do is my phone, see if it works, and it does work. So that's good. So go ahead and give us a shout. We're getting a call from what I believe is Josh Hart here, so we're going to go ahead and take the call here from Josh. Is this Josh Hart on the phone? Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, what's going on?
Awesome. What's up, man? Oh, it's a big win. I'm happy. I mean, I'm as happy as I can be, I think. What about you?
I'm extremely happy because of Kentucky, because I put several bets on them today, and I hit a 6 parlay ticket with DraftKings. I won $854 today.
6
DraftKings,
dude, 6 parlay. Man, well, Brad, you had a great day. I would say you should be beyond happy.
Yeah, I won like 654 on DraftKings and like 203 on FanDuel, and a couple of them were free bonus bets. So one on FanDuel was a free bonus bet, and it was a 6 parlay. And all I needed was Washington -3 at the end, and won for $154 on that one. But if Rutgers would have held and covered that 19, and Ole Miss would have covered that 3, you say they would have won by 4, I would have won $1,754.
Dang, Josh is over here killing it, and I think we may have Brad. Brad, can you hear me? Are you back on here? Okay, we got Brad back. Okay, sweet. Brad is back on. We had a rough start. Sometimes, like Kentucky football has rough starts, but that's okay. So we're back.
We were sitting here for a little while. I was
Brad already knows about my winnings. I chatted with him earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I almost cashed it out.
I do.
And I was like, no, I'm just going to let it ride. And right at the end, they Washington covered the 3 points and won me some major money today.
Dude, that is all. Well, Josh, you've got to be a happy camper at it after today. But what do you think about this win for the Cats? I mean, I think they played really it's about as well as you could have asked tonight. Honestly, is my sort of initial takeaway.
I'm always happy when we hold anybody to less than 10 points. I said 38-10. And what was the final 20?
I think it was 24-3. Is that correct? Yeah, 24-3 is what the final was. So
I would have liked to see a little bit more out of the offense. I think that one touchdown they did not call. They said he bobbled it. I think that was a touchdown.
I know. I sort of did at first too, but then they started showing the replay more and more, and I saw Dane sort of like it did hit the ground at some point, so I could see where they could call it either way. But man, and then there was that one that Berrien caught, and his foot was clearly out of bounds, but that was also a great catch. And Josh, I'm just happy to see these sophomore receivers finally catching these deep balls from Devin Leary, and it sort of makes me wonder why or where was this earlier in the year? Why did this happen earlier than that?
I just think they weren't in sync. They are finally getting on the same page. I think that bye week really helped us a lot. Maybe that players meeting helped the team more than we know. You know, I mean, Leary looks like he looks like a total different person than what he was.
Yeah.
Versus Georgia, or even Missouri. I mean.
Well, he looks very comfortable. And I mean, what really impressed me tonight was his ability to avoid the sack. I mean, I thought there were a couple times where I thought for sure he was going down.
He was Houdini.
And then he just he avoids the pressure and gets out of there and makes some great throws. But I think we're finally seeing out of Devin Leary these little, accurate in the short game passes that we were hoping to see before the season started, right? And against these teams like Missouri and Tennessee and even Georgia.
The last 2 games, he's been way more.
He has. And I think you're right. Like they're just more in sync now. The first touchdown pass he had to Demi Sumo Cambre, I can't pronounce his name, but Demi Sumo Cambre, whatever it is. DSK. There you go, Brad. I'm just gonna say DSK. I think that's the better option there. Like we say Big Z or Big O, we'll just go DSK. Big DSK. Yeah. But in any case, I mean, he put that right in the breadbasket. And then the one he had to Dane Key too, you can't throw that ball any better. And so that's what I had been hoping to see out of Devin Leary all year. But I guess it's better late than never. So, but
well, I mean, there is a rumor floating around, of course, that he's going to try to get some kind of a red shirt from NC, where he only played 4 games with NC State, and he could very well come back next year. And I think that would be a positive if he came back, honestly. A lot of people's like, no, he needs to go on. You know, we got that other kid coming in next year, Cutter Bowley. But, I mean, really, do you want to put Cutter Bowley out there his first season?
No, and I think they would definitely have to get somebody in the transfer portal to be the starter next year, but and there always are people that pop up, but honestly, I don't know who that would be. I don't even know.
If you could get a guy like Leary, and I know he's not had the best. I mean, he's had solid numbers. Why wouldn't you just want him? Okay, he's in the system now. Well, can you imagine what year 2 would look like with Cohen and Leary? I think it would be phenomenal.
I think that would be huge because I think it would probably be equivalent to what you would expect in year 2 Will Levis under a year 2 Liam Cohen. Problem is we had Rich Scangarello. So, I mean, I haven't heard that, Josh, but I mean, that would be unbelievable if that were to actually happen.
Yeah, it's floating around. I don't think it's KSR or somewhere else I saw it. But maybe it's Twitter that there's something. He played only 4 games for NC State that year when he got hurt. And if that's the case, we can get him back. You know, maybe that's another issue. Maybe he wasn't 100% healthy. Maybe he was just going out there and slinging it. Finally, you know, he's feeling good. And we have to take that into consideration, too. I mean, he did get hurt pretty bad at NC State. So,
yeah,
I mean, you got to give the guy a little bit of a break, I guess.
We got anything else, Josh, before we let you go?
No, I'm just excited. I'm glad I won some money today. I'm glad Kentucky played well. I think we still beat South Carolina next week. And then we got Alabama. So, I mean, Larry just needs to keep on improving. We got to run the ball a little bit more than what we did tonight. I thought Davis would have a bigger game than he did, but it's all good. We still came out victorious, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, especially tonight. And, well, yeah, man. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Go Cats.
Go Cats. Brad, welcome to the show.
All right, man. So I was waiting, and my computer timed out and shut down as soon as the show come on. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's just what happens sometimes. That's part of this. But I'm glad that you're on the show now. I'm glad we got you working. Yeah. So that's awesome. So we'll try to take a couple more calls here. Go ahead and do that. 502-234-1504. I'm sure we'll get a quiet hair call. But Brad, big win. That much needed, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a place that Kentucky has struggled for years and years and years to get a win at. Even when we've had good teams, we haven't been able to go there and get wins.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years since we've won there. And the last win we had was a 14-13 sneaker, like, you know, nail biter that we won in 2008. That was Mike Hartline and Randall Cobb. That's how long ago that's been.
That's insane. Mike Hartline and Randall. I mean, I remember being a kid in the stands.
Freshman year, I believe.
I remember being a kid in the stands watching that game. So it is amazing. Rich Brooks was the last time that we won down there. Yeah. And we're getting a Clyde Hare call here. Clyde, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Hello. What's going on, man? It feels good to be bowl eligible for 8 straight years, baby.
That's huge. I mean, that is huge, and that's what Mark Stoops has been able to do with this program. And yeah, I mean, it's a big win for that reason. You break a lot of streaks tonight. I mean, you knock down a lot of doors, in Mark Stoops' words, right? You break this losing streak curse that's in Starkville, right? And then and then you get this win so that you are bowl eligible. And it's a school record, 8 straight years. I mean, that's I mean, the tide has sort of turned on what was looking to be a not so great
It's
second half of the season.
School record extension. Seven was the record last year.
Right.
I couldn't be more proud. Oh, I'm sorry. Was he talking?
Yeah, no, Brad was saying that it was the school record we hit last year was 7, so it's an extension of the record to get to 8. So yeah, that's a good point.
Larry, like I think Josh is right. I think Larry's back to being himself now. I mean, I can just tell he's moving a little bit more. He's less scared. He's less hesitant than he was. I mean, there was some plays tonight where he almost got sacked and he bounced the dude off him, just try to make a play. I mean, yeah, it would be an incompletion here and there, but for him to avoid a sack, at least try to get it to the receiver is still good, because before he would just take the sack, get back up, and move on. But now he's starting to try to get people off of him, and it's just he's finding his groove, and that's what you want towards the end of the season. You don't want your quarterback to play how he did before. You want him to get his confidence, and you want him to just get going. I feel like he's done it the last 2 weeks, and I'm very impressed with his play.
Yeah, I am too, man. And on one end, it's like a little frustrating, yeah, Brad, that this didn't happen sooner, because I feel like if Leary plays like this, we probably beat.
I feel like in the Georgia game that we had too much of a conservative approach.
Yeah,
on the offense.
Right. Yeah,
like they didn't try to air it out and try to do anything against Georgia.
They didn't. Well, and I feel like the defense obviously played much better tonight. Now I know Mississippi State is without a lot of guys, and
really
they're not great.
About the defense, really.
But still, you hold them to without a touchdown, right? You hold them to 3 points, and I think is that's great, because this defense gave up 122 points the last 3 games, and that is just absolutely unacceptable. So I was going to take any kind of anything moving the other direction tonight.
Yeah,
so that's
3 looks a little bit better than 122. 40 points a game.
That's not normally a Brad White defense, and tonight was a Brad White defense. I mean,
yes,
even I was expecting Harrison to get an interception, because he's been on the money with that all season, and he's done very well. But for one of our linebackers to get a pick six, that is huge. And that's just a big momentum shifter moving forward. And I say I'm with Brad. I think we go 8-4 to end the year. I think Alabama's really the only loss that we have left. But I think the other 2 are winnable, Louisville and South Carolina. And I just feel good. I think we'll go 8-4. Go to probably the Gator Bowl or somewhere, a bowl game in Florida, and probably win that. Go at 9-4, and you know what? That's just the Stoops way, and it's just what it is, and he just continues to knock down doors. Hopefully, he continues to do that, which he will. I mean, he's the best we got. I was mad at him at the beginning. I mean, when we were losing, but then I began to realize all the stuff that he's done for us, and I don't want him to go anywhere. I mean, I love Stoops, and everything he's done for us, I'm just forever grateful for it. So I don't want him to go anywhere. I want him to continue to break barriers and do great things for this program like he's done.
Amen, man. No, I agree with you. Well, got anything else before we let you go?
No, just feel good to be bowl eligible, go 6-3, and then I think we'll be all right. The rest of the 3 games, I think we'll go 2-1.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah, man. Thanks for calling in as always.
Absolutely. Go Cats, baby.
Go Cats. Mark Stoops, Brad. I mean, he really is taking this program to heights we never thought possible. So,
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're in places that Kentucky football was never ever at before, ever. I mean,
8 straight years, bowl
maybe from 46 to 53 when Paul Bear Bryant was here. Okay. But that was 80 years ago. Okay.
Right. And we used to beg just to get the 6 wins. And now it's like a given. It's like every year we're going to be bowl eligible. And, I heard actually a Tennessee fan was commenting the other day, saying every other program in the SEC would love for Kentucky to fire Mark Stoops, because all of a sudden, Kentucky,
100%.
even if it's a win for the other team, Kentucky's all of a sudden just a pain in the ass game for every other team, right? And it's going to continue to be that way. So I thought that was pretty profound that another fan would say that. Yeah.
And let me talk about Leary for a minute. Tonight, he was 13 of 22. He had 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Okay. He only had 9 incompletions. 2 of them were in the back of the end zone and the sideline of the end zone that were actually caught that could have been TDs. Both of them. All right?
Yep. So absolutely.
He likely could have easily had over 200 yards and 4 TDs.
Which would have been a performance like he had against Tennessee.
There was also another one that was dropped right in the basket that Josh Caddis had down the field, and it hit him right in the hands, and somehow he missed that one. And then he got hurt at the end of the third quarter and didn't take a snap in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So
is he hurt, or were they just like precautionarily taking him out?
At the end of the game, on the post interview, they interviewed Stoops, and Alyssa Lane asked him about Leary, and he said that in one of those falls there late in the third quarter, or sacks or whatever hits after that he took some stuff in the eye, that he got some stuff in his eye. And it was his vision was blurred. And
okay, gotcha. That was
I guess it was like dirt or grass or something got in his eye. Stoops said he got some stuff in his eye, and they were working on his eye.
Okay, well, that's better than a leg or an ACL.
So, I would think that in a few days that would clear up and that'll be better. Wash it out, whatever. I would think that would be okay.
Right.
I would think so.
Josh Hart in the comments here says Tennessee got lucky, a few calls different, and we win that game. That's the story every single year. Tennessee gets lucky every single year they play us. If there's going to be a 50-50 call, it's going to go Tennessee's way every single time, and that's why it's so frustrating that we lose to them.
If you want to continue to talk about Mark Stoops and the job that he's done here at Kentucky, I'm going to go into something real quick and try to be quick with this. But at the same time, let's look around the SEC. And I'm really kind of tired of hearing these fans complain about Stoops all of a sudden. Okay? Let's look around the SEC. Let's take a look down at, say, Texas A&M, where they brought in a championship coach named Jimbo Fisher, who has been getting top 5 and even top class in the country. And last year he missed a bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
Had a losing season, went 5-7, and today took his 4th loss of this year. It's not easy to win in the SEC, people.
Nope. It's not.
It's not easy to win in the SEC. Let's look at Brian Kelly at LSU.
Yep.
Okay. Brian Kelly last year starts out, has got all these high hopes, coming from Notre Dame, one of the best coaches in the country. Everybody thinks he's top 5 or 6. He comes in and he loses his first game, some bad decisions that helped lose that game. Okay. He did come back and made a little run late in the year, but still wound up losing his last 2 games and had 4 losses last year. Today, this year, LSU, who come into the season with hopes of winning the SEC West and going to the college football playoff, took their 3rd. How many losses does Kentucky have?
3. Yep.
Took their 3rd loss this year and still have 3 or 4 games left to play.
Yep.
And they have Jaden Daniels. They have top 5 classes. I hear these, well, Stoops only gets top 20 classes and top 25 classes.
But that makes it even more impressive that he's able to win on this level.
Well, I mean, listen, guys, this crap is not easy. Let's look at Lane Kiffin. Okay? Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss every year has started out 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, and he winds up 8-5.
Yep.
And he winds up 9-4 if he's lucky.
I think part of the reason that we feel so bad is that these 3 losses came back to back to back.
I just want to put this into some perspective for people. I mean, these people are acting as if Kentucky is somehow Georgia.
Yeah.
And we
I know. Yeah.
Walk in and win every game. You know?
Well, and if these three losses,
programs in the country in the SEC, I'm talking about Texas A&M, I'm talking about LSU, I'm talking about Ole Miss. We're talking about 3 coaches in Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly, and Jimbo Fisher, who almost everybody that you ask in this country would put higher than Mark Stoops.
In my lifetime, we've only had a winning record in the SEC twice. So, and we've only gone better than 7-5 twice, too. So, I mean, just to put things in perspective, right?
Guys, do you know in the regular season, okay, I'm talking about regular season wins, do you know that the 2 times that Stoops has done it in the last 5 years is the only time since 1984 that Kentucky has won more than 7 regular season games?
Wow. Yeah.
And they did it in 84, they did it in 76 and 77. And outside of that, it hasn't been done since like 1951.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and we still haven't knocked down this door yet, but we haven't beaten Florida and Tennessee in the same season since 1977. And that's going to happen at some point. But, that just goes to show how crazy hard this league is. And I don't care who, if you go on the road and hold an opponent to no touchdowns in the SEC, that's impressive.
Oh yeah,
that's impressive. So,
I agree with that.
That's what we did tonight.
But I just want to put this into some perspective, and I'm trying to help some of these fans because to me, it's almost like some of these fans just want to be miserable.
Gotta enjoy it. Like, you gotta embrace it.
It's like they're looking for some kind of misery. I'm telling you guys, it is not easy. If it was easy, a guy like Jimbo Fisher would walk in and be 10-1,
easily,
at the end of the season every year.
Yeah.
It's
the SEC. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, it's not easy, guys. We have a great coach who has risen us to some levels that Kentucky's in this longevity has never even attempted to be to. I mean, Rich Brooks had a good 4-year run, okay? Do you know how many times he won 8 regular season games?
Twice.
0.
Oh, regular season. Okay. Yeah, that would be 0. You're right.
0, guys. 0.
Yep. It was arguably easier back then.
Hal Mummy had a good 2 or 3 seasons here. Do you know how many times he won 8 regular season games?
Don't you think the East?
0.
Don't you think the East is more competitive now than it was in the Rich Brooks era? Because I think it probably is. I think it might be harder to win in at least in our division.
It's been definitely harder the last 3 or 4 years, because because Georgia's been in there, and that's
but also, I mean, Tennessee is way better than they have been, right? At least in the 2000s.
Missouri's had a
Missouri's
couple of
better.
2 or 3 good seasons,
Yeah.
Here and there.
So yeah, no, absolutely. So no, it's a great win tonight, and you're right back. In theory, you probably won't, but in theory, you could go 9-3 and tie the best season of our lifetime, right?
Well,
I mean, you
defense,
could.
now, you've talked about the defense, so I don't think next week's game is going to be a good barometer of of our defense. And we played Bama.
Yeah.
Bama looked really. Jalen.
Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
No.
Jalen Hurts.
No. Jalen's not his name. Milrow. What's his first name?
Oh, okay. I don't know, but I know who you're talking about. Milrow. Yeah.
Yeah, Milrow. I can't even think his first name right now.
I can't either.
Anyways, he looked really great tonight. Jalen. That's what I thought. I said it right. It is
okay.
Jalen Milrow.
Jalen Milrow.
That's what I thought it was. All right.
Yep.
Well, once I said it, I thought, wait a minute, I don't think that sounds right. But anyway, it is Jalen Milrow. He looked really, really good tonight. Ran all over the field. Ran for 4 touchdowns, 130, 40, 50 yards. Threw for 220 or 30 yards. And
it was his best game. It was his best game all season.
I mean, he balled out. So let's be honest. Next week might not be the best barometer. You want to know what I think is going to be the absolute best barometer on exactly how this season finishes?
Louisville.
And South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah.
Today, Spencer Rattler threw for 399 yards.
He can be good. He's either real good or real bad, depending. Yards. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're going to try to throw it all over the field. That Leggett or whatever his name is, that receiver had 217 yards and like 2 or 3 TDs. He's legit, guys. Like that dude's legit. Yeah. And then you finish the season with Louisville and Braun and Plummer.
Yep.
Those 2 games are going to tell just how good this defense is.
Yeah. No, it could certainly, but
Josh Hart says it's a school record. 4 TDs by Alabama QBs, a school record.
Wow, gosh. Well, I certainly didn't want them to lose tonight, Alabama.
No, I didn't.
That wouldn't have been good for us. Yeah,
they would be. They would be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think we have a chance next week? I mean, do you think that in theory we could play?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
but Bama's been looking pretty good lately, guys. Like tonight, they looked really good beating LSU, and LSU's got a heck of an offense.
Do you think our defense rises to the occasion, though? I feel like Kentucky football plays to its opponent quite a bit, so I don't know.
I was feeling halfway decent about this game 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not quite so much right now.
I'm not either. Alabama's only lost 1 game, right? Haven't they just lost the 1 game to Texas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Texas is really good. So, like, everybody's like, oh, Bama's down just because they lost 1 game.
Bama only has 2 SEC games left.
Yeah, right.
Us and Auburn. That's it. They're 6-0, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. So they're going to they're almost certainly going to the championship, right? Have they already clinched it?
They pretty much locked it up tonight.
Yeah.
And the reason why that is Mississippi's the only other school that has 1 loss in the West, and Alabama already beat Mississippi, so they have the tiebreaker.
So they locked it up pretty much, yeah.
Well, technically, if they lost to us,
Auburn,
if they lose to us and Auburn, then Ole Miss could win out. But guess who Ole Miss plays next week? That's not going to happen.
Who's that? Georgia? Well, again, not going to happen. Yeah, not going to happen. So, man.
The likelihood that Bama wins the West, they pretty much locked it up tonight.
How about Missouri, though, today?
Missouri looked good. They held it within 10 points.
Dude, so Missouri is having
10-10. They were actually up 13-10 in the third quarter. They lose 30-21. That's one of those, are you really going to be happy in a loss type deal? That's one of those that if you're going to play that well and be that good, you have to figure out a way to win that game, because now Georgia's locked up the East. It's pretty much going to be Georgia and Bama in the SEC championship game. It's not technically locked up, but if somehow Ole Miss upset Georgia next week, then you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not technically locked up because everybody's still got at least 2 games to play, and they got a 2-game lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, crazier things have happened, but yeah, I don't foresee it being any different in Georgia. You think Georgia three-peats?
I'm not going to bet against them. I'm really not.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and speaking of Missouri, I think Missouri is sort of having the season that I thought we would have this year.
Missouri is having the season that I think all these Kentucky fans would like to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's be honest, the 2 big teams that they have played now, LSU and Georgia,
they've lost.
They have lost.
Yeah, they've lost. But they're winning the games that we should win. Like they beat us, but we should beat them. We should be able to consistently beat Missouri, which, to be fair, we have.
Games, the ones that Kentucky fans, the Tennessees and the Georgias, and outside the Missouri game.
Yeah.
The Missouri game is the only one, they did beat us, which gives them a small edge because they beat us. You know what I mean? For this season.
Mike says, if Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, does Georgia and Bama go to the NCAA playoffs or the playoff? No.
I think so, Mike. I really don't this year. I mean, it depends on what happens, okay? Washington is still undefeated.
Got Ohio State, right?
Oregon still has 1 loss. Texas still has the 1 loss. Of course, Michigan and Ohio State, somebody's going to get a loss there because they play each other.
Yeah.
They'll still just have 1 loss. I really don't think – I think you're going to see 4 teams from 4 different conferences this year. That's the way
you could.
Unless we see something crazy and chaos start happening and a couple of teams lose 2 games all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Unless we just see some chaos. Now, if Kentucky was to beat Bama next week, then you know what I mean? I mean, who the hell knows?
Yeah, right. So if anybody else wants to call in, which it is getting kind of late here, but we do gain an hour tonight, Brad. We fall back. So I set your clock for good.
Yeah, so it's only 11:27 Eastern time now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Well, and it's only 10:27 Central Time right now. But we'll take any calls. If anybody else wants to call in, 502-234-1504. We'll sort of do a last call for calls here. And Brad, to wrap up, realistically, we've already kind of talked about it, but realistically, what do you think our final record is? I think it's 8-4. I think you probably do too. And then what bowl do you think we end up in if you had to pick one right now?
I think you called it maybe last week, maybe the Gator Bowl.
Hey, if we're 8-4, I think the Gator Bowl is probably what we're looking at.
Yeah,
but then again, you lose to Tennessee, you lose to Missouri. I think there's a chance you can have a pretty good record. You can have an 8-4 record and still end up in like a Music City or a Liberty Bowl, a worse bowl than you would normally be in with that kind of record.
Maybe. So, I mean, it depends on how everything falls. Most of the time, Music City and a Liberty Bowl and stuff is a 7-5 team most of the time. I'm not saying for sure, but most of the time that's the case.
But the thing is, who's going to be 7-5 that are going to go to those bowls from the SEC?
I mean,
there's a lot of good SEC.
South Carolina's not. They can't. They're 3-6.
Yeah, they're not. They're not going.
So if we beat them, South Carolina's out. They're not getting the bowl.
Vandy's obviously out. Arkansas's out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mississippi State is 4-5 now. I'm not sure that they make a bowl.
I don't think they make a bowl this year. Arkansas is 3-6. I don't think they make a bowl out of the SEC this year. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think we probably would end up going to like a Music City, just because of that. And Clyde Harris says here, if we go to the Music City Bowl, I will puke. I agree. Clyde, like, we've been to the Music City Bowl like 17,000 times. I'm ready to not play in the Music City Bowl anymore. I agree with you there, Clyde. Now the Outback, I don't know how likely the Outback Bowl is, but I would love to play in the Outback Bowl. Sign me up.
The Outback Bowl picks either right before or right after the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah.
They're in that line with the Citrus Bowl. The Outback Bowl is.
Honestly, I think Missouri probably ends up in the Citrus Bowl, to be honest with you. At this rate.
Yeah,
Georgia's going to the playoff. Bama will probably go to
could be LSU.
It could be LSU.
Right now. It could be.
It could be LSU. You're very right. But then Missouri would fall into like an Outback Bowl, and that would push us down to the Gator Bowl, but Tennessee probably goes to the Gator Bowl.
So the loser of Georgia, Alabama is probably going to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. Yep. I could see that. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I feel like we'll probably end up Music City or Liberty. Gator is possible, but I think it'll probably be one of those three. It's also possible we end up in like a Texas Bowl.
Well, the Cotton Bowl's in there too.
I don't think we go to the Cotton Bowl.
They usually pick an SEC West team that's up there, so that would be like LSU or Mississippi. Yeah. That would be like LSU or Mississippi.
The Cheez-It Bowl. That's another one. Like there's all kinds of stuff. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, but
Cotton Bowl usually doesn't pick an SEC East team. That's the reason why Kentucky never plays in it.
Yeah, I wish the Rose Bowl picked an SEC team because I would love if Kentucky played in the Rose Bowl.
It won't be Pac-12 no more.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, Pac-12 has gone bye-bye.
It won't be Pac-12 no more.
Yeah, so that's true. That's an option.
Should we start calling them Tupac? Tupac
Conference.
The Tupac.
Yeah, that's a good name. I like that. Any of the takeaways you got from the game? I mean, I think it's just like I saw what I wanted to see tonight. And we just needed to win. That's really all I cared about, to be honest with you, is that we won.
Some cleanups, and I'm gonna poke a few holes in some stuff here. I didn't think that we ran the ball all that great. We did not offensive line get much push against this Mississippi State defensive line, which I didn't think was a very good look, to be honest with you. I think Ray Davis wound up with around 80 yards, but I mean, we really, for the most of the game, didn't look good running the ball. Another beef that I have on the offense tonight, what is the deal with us snapping the damn ball?
Yeah. I don't know. It goes back to that thing.
Tick, tick, and they're up doing this and calling like tick, tick. Like it's 2-1, snap the damn ball. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, it goes back to like we feel like undisciplined or unfocused, and it's like, man, that's so fixable. It's like, why can't we just do the little things?
After time after time, I was counting. I bet you tonight, I bet you there was 8 or 10 plays that we literally either got a flag on it, called a timeout, or snapped the ball at 0.
Josh Hart is too slow still. I think, we actually did run some tempo tonight, which I think that's when Leary's at his
Early,
best.
the first or second drive we did. After that,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the most I mean, it's just like tick, tick, tick. The whole game, I'm watching the play clock because they literally take one time, they come up to the line, and I promise you, they started to get set with 12 or 13 seconds. And I'll be damned if they didn't get a delay of game on the play.
Do you think that Stoops like telling Cohen, like, I want you to run the clock all the way down each time, like I want to win the time of possession? Because that's the other thing. We aren't even like winning the time of possession in these games. And we're the slowest team in the country, and we're still not winning the time of possession.
It's unreal on some of these things. Yeah. Snap the damn ball. Why do you? I mean, I don't understand. He's in the shotgun. And he's snap. And they don't do nothing. And it's like they're trying to draw people off or whatever. But I mean, you can do that when there's 8 seconds on the clock. You can't do that when there's 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't snap the damn ball. Seriously, I don't get that at all. So
Josh Hart says, "What was our penalty yards tonight?"
I don't know.
I need to look that up. Yeah, I was going to see if you knew, Brad, but I'm looking that up now, being the box score, I think, or the team stats.
So that was one of my pick aparts tonight, and then I thought the one drive that we gave up to them was absolutely ridiculous. They had a 12-minute and 29-second drive that went 88 yards and was 20 plays in one drive. 20 plays. That means they only went 88 yards. That means they only averaged 4.8 yards per play, and they dink and dunked and run 2 and 4 and yards here and there. And that one drive, you talk about not winning the time of possession. Lord, we probably had 4 possessions that didn't equal their 12 minutes and 29 seconds of that one drive.
And people are saying, they only got 3 points out of it down here in the comments, which is very true.
They did, and I will give them credit. The bend don't break crap that they got down to, and give.
Dude, I hate it, but I guess it works. But I hate it. It's so frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing.
That drive in the first half was killing me, y'all. Like killing me.
Bending a little too much there. But we had 6 penalties for 45 yards. They had 9 penalties for 68 yards.
I bet you 2 or 3 of those were delay of games.
Yep, I'm sure they were. But how about that pick 6, De'Aaron Jackson?
Pretty play. Great defensive play. That was.
I love that.
I mean, the defense played good outside of that one drive. I mean, honestly, that one drive is the only one that really. I mean, I was just like, what the crap? Why can't we, get them off the field a little bit here on that one drive? But outside of that, I mean, we played good.
Claude says, if we go to the Music City Bowl, I'm blaming you, Coleman. That's fine. You can blame me. If we go to the Music City Bowl, I'll absolutely take the blame for that.
If we go to the Music City Bowl, guys, just so you know, I might be buying tickets.
That's fine. That's fine. We can go. We can go. You can take Talking Kentucky on the road.
Yeah, I might be buying tickets. That's all I'm saying.
That'd be good. When isn't the Music City Bowl usually like on New Year's Eve or something like that?
It's usually either New Year's Eve or the 30th. It depends on how it falls most of the time.
Yeah. You don't think we have a situation where Leary doesn't play in the bowl game like we had last year, right? Because he's not going to be like a big time NFL prospect like Levis.
I mean,
sure
I think
he'll
it's
play.
going to depend on his health a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets dinged up and and needs to not look like crap in the bowl game because he's not healthy, and I think that's what happened to Levis last year. Levis would have played.
Yeah.
But guys,
Which how about Will? I know we talked.
Levis had broken fingers last year. Levis had displaced shoulders that he played with last year. I mean, he had some real injuries last year.
Well, we talked last week. We talked last week about you wanting to go down to see him debut. How about Levis? Man, it would have been great if we had beaten Tennessee.
4 TDs. I've been telling everybody for 2 years this dude's the real deal. And
it would have been great if we had beaten Tennessee and then that happened the next day. That would have been the biggest in your face to Tennessee ever.
He just has those intangibles that you can't.
He does.
That you can't coach, guys. And
yep.
you can pick apart whatever you want to, but the dude has the tenacity, the toughness, the attitude, the he shows up to work every day. Not many rookies in their very first game can control the line and do the play calls and pick up blitzes, and he's in there.
Oh, he's a leader. Yeah.
I mean, in his very first start, he has the intangibles. And I've been telling people this that want to pick him apart. And if you look even this past week in his second game, his very first road game, okay, he was at Pittsburgh, and they are doing their song, okay, where the whole crowd is singing, waving their towels, doing all this. Levis stands in his end zone and throws a 22-yard laser when the crowd is going nuts in his very first road start.
Yeah.
He just has that that you cannot teach.
He does. He absolutely does. It's just great to see. I'm excited that I'm really happy for that kid. So I'm excited, and I hope he kind of stays on that path, and that they stick with him and they don't go back to Ryan Tannehill. So
I truly expect them to have their quarterback for the next 10 years.
I hope so. I'd get a Will Levis jersey. I'd get a Titans jersey. That'd be great. But
I'm gonna get one that looks like the Houston Oilers, just so everybody get mad about it.
Oh yeah, I know. I love, dude. Those were nice. I love those. But hey, Ole Miss. Speaking of Ole Miss and that powder blue, that the Levis jersey was the Oilers.
They wore it today. They looked good in that powder blue.
They looked real good, but they barely won though. They barely beat A&M.
I like the uniforms, the way they look.
I do love Ole Miss's uniforms, that's for sure. I do kind of like. Last year I made fun of them for wearing those real tree helmets, but I actually liked them this year. I think they look pretty cool, actually.
I like Ole Miss's uniforms and stuff. Their colors and their combos that they do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do too. But
hey, they're still in it, and they play Georgia next week, so.
That'd be good. Where is that? Is that in Athens?
I have to look it up, Coleman.
I feel like Georgia gets every big game in Athens. I feel like Georgia gets away with getting every big game at home. But guys, we'll start to kind of wrap it up here. Don't forget to set your clocks back tonight. The Cats get the win. And it's huge, and especially the defense, the defense coming back and having a good game after what was sort of a cattywampus of the last 3 games, coming back tonight, being able to play like they did, what was really encouraging. So, Brad, you got anything to add before we get out of here?
No, man, it's just really good to get a win in a place. I mean, we all talked about it from the very start of the season. that, we never win in Starkville. Most all of us was scared of this game. Most all of us thought that we might not be able to go there and get a win no matter what Mississippi State looked like. So, to go down there in a tough place that for us to play and get a road win, especially when our home schedule is, Missouri, Tennessee, and Alabama.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's imperative to get some road wins this year.
Is.
Same thing with the South Carolina game coming up and stuff like that. It's imperative, that we get some road wins against some teams that haven't looked so great this year.
Yep.
South Carolina's 3-6 right now. We've got to be able to go there and get a road win.
How great would it be if we go into Louisville when they have this great record and we still beat the crap out of them?
And again, Louisville is a road win. We got to go on the road. We got to go on the road and go to the whatever they're calling their stadium, the Papa John's, or whatever it's called. This I don't even know what it's called.
Whatever it is. Yeah, ceiling.
Whatever it's called this week, I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know what it's called anymore.
Well, let's go win there regardless of what it's called. And Brad, we want Bama? Is that what we're saying? We want Bama?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can say that or not.
Yeah, we'll become a meme if we say that.
In basketball.
Yeah, in basketball we definitely want. Well, I don't know. Last year we didn't want no Bama.
Still Kentucky. We've got to at least carry that, that confidence.
Robert says, is Leary hurt? No, I don't think so. I think it was, according to Mark Stoops, is just something in his eye. So hopefully he's not actually hurt.
Mark Stoops said he had something in his eye from the dirt, from the ground, from the dirt. But I don't know if how true that is. But that was Alyssa Lang asked him the question after the game.
Yeah,
and that was his reply.
Yeah. So, well, it's a good win for the Cats. They're bowl eligible. They're 6-3. They win in Starkville for the first time since 2008, and all is right in the world for the Cats tonight. So, Brad, you got anything to add?
That's it, guys. Go Big Blue.
Go Cats. Go follow Talking Kentucky and College Sportscast.
College Sportscast. I'm on YouTube and Facebook and all those good places. So you can look me up on Spotify and Apple and all that kind of stuff too. But I'd appreciate it. And Coleman, it's always great to be on with you and do these shows and look forward to it. Looking forward to basketball starting. I'll throw that in there to end this. So I'm looking forward to basketball starting. There's some rumors that Bradshaw might be ready in 10 to 14 days.
Let's go. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of rumors, that's for sure. Yeah.
There's some rumors about Leary too, about applying for a medical red shirt. Now, the NCAA's got to approve it, and I don't know if that's true or not. If it'll happen or not.
Yeah.
But so there's some rumors on Bradshaw. There's an outside hope 10 days from now that he'll be ready for the Kansas game. Yeah. I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt that he'll throw Bradshaw to the Wolves the very first game. Even if he is ready, I kind of doubt he'll throw him to the Wolves against Kansas. But he is a 5-star kid, and maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. You know what I mean?
So. Yeah. Can't hide you, as he says. At Kentucky, I can't hide you. So, maybe so. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll go. All happening pretty quick. Kentucky plays basketball. Opening game is Monday night.
New Mexico.
Yep.
Go Cats. Well, at least we won't be like Louisville and lose to Kentucky Wesleyan. Yeah.
Los Lobos.
Yeah, Los Lobos. Well, for Coleman Scott and for Brad Harvey, this has been the Talking Kentucky postgame show, and we'll see you all next time. Go follow us on all the things: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the Twitter, the Spotify, the Apple Podcast, all the things. And thank you very much. And go Cats, go Big Blue, beat Bama. We want Bama.
Go Big Blue.